In the bleak lands of Bashan and Chu, time for bed, bro. When you're lying awake and happen to scroll onto Xiaobo's wilderness building episode, congrats, you're hooked again. Today, I'm guessing you bros are definitely sitting with your left foot over your right. If I'm right, give a little squeak. If I'm wrong, screenshot this and drop it in the comments. Now, put your right foot on your belly. We won't dilly-dally, let's jump straight into today's tension-packed theme. Look at this empty wilderness, not a soul in sight, which of course makes it the perfect playground for Xiaobo. No chit-chat, he grabs his ancestral shovel and just goes absolutely wild on that slope. Shovel after shovel, his efficiency's basically on par with a top grad from Lanshang Tech School. Moves smooth as butter. Oh snap, he hit a tough one. That gnarly root system's like a local tough guy blocking the road. Blocking the way. Xiaobo snorts, pulls out his defensive hatchet and gives the roots a lightning 5-hit combo, literally a physical exorcism. With that obstacle gone, the semicircular pit was starting to take shape. The foundation was dug solid as an old dog. The sandy bottom still needed a careful clean. Details make or break you, you can't screw up over small stuff. Foundation sorted, next up was finding building materials. Xiaobo yanked open his Doraemon-like backpack and pulled out a folding handsaw. Dead wood across the hills suddenly became hot property. He picked an unlucky dead tree and just started sawing. Yank saw, pull saw, Xiaobo's insane arm strength clearly something built by training. In no time there were wood chunks all over. He scooped up the pile of logs like he's hugging a bride, huffed them back to the pit and chucked them right in. Next came pure brute work, standing the logs up one by one beside the pit wall. This is going to be our future load-bearing wall. To stop these guys from shifting, we packed soil at the base and then stomped it solid with his size 43 big feet. What do we do about the longer, stubborn wooden stakes that won't behave? Don't panic. Quick as a wink, we shave one end down to a pencil point, stick it into the ground, and then unveil our magic big wooden mallet. Now enjoy the 88 o'clock big hammer swinging show. The wooden mallet thuds down and your hand goes numb, but watching the stake drive into the dirt like a nail, man, that's satisfying. After a bout of crazy labour, the wooden retaining wall's finally up, and that sense of security just instantly maxed out, am I right? Walls alone won't do, the floor inside still needs levelling. Xiaobo, like a tireless machine, keeps swinging the shovel and flicking excess dirt aside, and the bottom of the pit suddenly looks a lot roomier. Next, we up the livability. Grab a bundle of equally thick sticks, drive the uprights into the ground like the mythical stabilising needle, getting ready to build a rustic sofa. With the frame up, we still got to hammer and reinforce it with nails. This hardcore workmanship could get you supervisor-level cred at a fancy furniture factory. Then ram in rows of short wooden stakes. That's the bench's unbeatable base. Looks rock solid, absolutely won't cave in. With the base done, lay a layer of horizontal sticks as the seat, lined up neat as can be. Perfectionists would nod in approval. After laying them, give it a stomp with your foot to test load bearing, then plop down on it. Whoa, not bad. Comfier than the mattress at home. Sofa's done, but the space above our heads is still empty. If it rains, we'd be drenched like soaked chickens. Roofing is officially next on the agenda. Grab some thick, long logs, propped against the wall like building blocks. This triangular setup is honestly an architectural miracle. To stop the roof from being ripped off by wind, he pulls out the ancestral binding rope and ties the load-bearing posts dead tight onto the crossbeam. The way he ties knots, silky smooth. You can tell he's an old pro in the outdoor scene. The bindings are snug as can be. With the main beam sorted, next up is laying a cross between the two big posts. They lay layer after layer of short sticks, slowly sealing up the front. Standing on the outside of the roof, they tighten the hemp rope, not cutting any corners on any step, since this will be the wind shelter they'll be sleeping in. Neatly lay the wood on the sand to use as the entryway. Life needs a bit of ritual, and even outdoors you should keep things clean, right? Squatting at the door, they lash the log mat down with rope, so even if you stomp in with muddy boots, you won't dirty the place. From the inside looking out... From the outside, the front still looks a bit rustic. They set up 2 wooden stakes on either side and hammer them hard into the ground with a wooden mallet. Head into the woods to find some very springy, thin branches, lean them against the stakes and wrap a rope around. They cinched everything tight with rope, forced the 2 branches to bend and meet at the top and tied them off. Voila! An artful arch frame is born. That alone wasn't secure enough, so they kept going with thicker rope They wrap and reinforce it densely. Got to make it as solid as an iron drum. Stick a pole in and spin like crazy to twist the rope tight is the old leverage trick passed down from the ancestors, doubling the reinforcement. Behind the first arch, they bend another branch behind it to make a second arch. Double insurance is the only sensible plan. Now, even if a wild boar charges it, no sweat. After hustling for ages, they finally get to go inside and rest. First, they bring in that camo backpack outside that looks stuffed with good stuff. Come, sit on the freshly made sofa, unzip your backpack and pull out a mysterious black storage pouch. This is the main event today. Unfold the molded metal plates inside. Turns out it's an ultra-high-tech stainless steel wood-burning stove. The assembly is basically like a Transformers sequence. Fit the top cover and the chimney connector, place this warming gadget firmly on the muddy floor against the wall. Instant homely vibe. Stick the rolled metal chimney pipe into the stovetop, running straight up through the roof. The exhaust system is practically perfect. Time to get a fire going. Use a small knife to shave curly, fine wood shavings off a stick. They're excellent natural kindling. One strike of the ferro rod and sparks fly. The shavings catch instantly. Gently place that little flame of hope into the firebox. Watch the flames grow. Toss in some skinny, dry twigs. That crackling is unbelievably soothing. After stuffing in thicker logs, close the stove door with its glass window. The firelight glowing through the glass instantly amps the vibe. Put the green outdoor kettle on the stove. Pour water on top and bring it to a boil. Sit by the stove, rubbing your hands and savor this rare warmth. When the water boils, pour it into a metal mug. Listen to the cold wind howl outside. Take a sip of hot water. Days like this I'd give up. I wouldn't trade days like this even for a deity. But the good times don't last. The weather turns nasty and it starts dumping snow. A good snow promises a good year, but this stuff is merciless. All you can do is lug a shovel and clear the passage and the snow on the roof. Clear it out clean, or else the roof will surely cave in. Braving the biting wind, climb out of the cabin, trudge through the deep snow and clear the slope above too. This is seriously hard physical work. After clearing the snow, hurry, slipping back into the warm passage, they continue the unfinished carpentry. They fasten the shaved stick sideways, holding a knife in both hands to carefully smooth the knots, tap them tight, then tie a solid knot with rope. The front door frame is getting sturdier. They haul a bundle of thin logs and slant them one by one across the entry frame. The foyer roof is starting to take shape. They keep adjusting how tight everything is to make sure there are no leaks, to keep out wind and rain. Bent over at the entrance, they frantically lash and secure things with rope, sawing the extra wood ends neat with a handsaw. Those tidy edges, it's a shame Xiaobo isn't a carpenter. Heading off to the far, they drag a few long planks back from the woods, saw them to the right length, and pack them tight along the arched entrance's side walls. Filling every last gap, the side defences are now airtight. Taking axe in hand, they leave satisfied. Next up, time to source some premium stuff. Trudging through the snow, they find a huge fallen trunk, ready for a big job. Wielding the hatchet, they start furiously peeling bark. This move is basically like giving Mother Nature a free deep gua sha and cupping treatment. Working along the base, they pry hard and a huge thick sheet of bark peels off, prime material for a waterproof layer. Cradling this pile of prized haul, they head back to the shelter loaded to the brim, neatly stacking it on the snow for later. From up high, they start dressing the roof, layering the stripped bark like shingles, one over another. They lay them across the logs, starting from the bottom and overlapping upward. Coverage is basically 360 degrees with no gaps, so even a blizzard won't cause leaks. Grabbing the biggest piece of bark, they shoved it straight into the side. Into the gaps on the surface, he lashed those outer skins tight to the inner frame with long rope. Exterior sorted, now we needed a door. Kneeling in the snow, he trimmed the wood with a small axe and slid it into the groove at the bottom of the entrance. Inside, he pulled out a trapezoid lock, drilled like crazy into the crossbeam, shoved in flexible slats, and forced them into a perfect arched door frame. He quickly wrapped the frame with rope to reinforce it and gave it a tug test. It was rock solid. Next, he gave the door a purely natural insulation layer, hauling a huge bundle of dry grass and leaves and tying them layer by layer onto the arched frame until the whole door was thick and airtight. From the inside, he slowly pulled the hay door up and it instantly blocked the blinding light outside. The sound and light blocking were incredible. Once pulled tight, the place went dark and cozy, safety levels through the roof. Now to solve the ultimate indoor insulation problem. He hauled in a huge bundle of yellowed reeds, dumped them on the floor, sat on the couch, and started jamming handfuls into the gaps of the roof frame like his life depended on it. His hands were like a pile driver, non-stop stuffing the reeds into the wooden cracks. It was like putting a down jacket on the whole house. He pressed hard, packing every nook and cranny so tightly no cold wind would get a foot in the door.
Both his hands flew up, top weaving. The large-scale reed laying was finished fast, a speed even someone single for 30 years couldn't match. He added arched support poles inside for extra strength, then shoved the final bits of shredded reeds, stuffed into the tiniest cracks. The insulation job was finally done. He knelt and spread long, dry grass over the wooden bed frame as an all-natural mattress, smoothing it again and again, way comfier than sleeping directly on wood. He lay down on his side, went to try it out. The bounce was pretty good. I unfurled the fancy green sleeping bag and laid it down. The comfort level of this little nook shot up. After so much heavy work, my stomach was already protesting. Sitting by the warm stove, I pulled from my pack, pulled out a bag of mysterious ingredients, ripped open the packaging. It was tender, juicy pink slices of meat, neatly arranged on a metal tray. That marbling alone makes your mouth water. There was also a paper-wrapped bundle of small white balls, which I patiently peeled them one by one with a folding knife. These are the sole ingredients of tonight's feast. I used a stick to prod the glowing coals, tossed the foil-wrapped balls straight into the fire, and buried them to slow roast. Next, then I steadily pushed the tray full of meat into the stove, shut the iron door, and adjusted the vent. Let the high heat work its magic. Can't just sit idle while waiting. On a small cutting board, I quickly sliced cucumbers and tomatoes, my knife works as sharp as ever. After slicing and plating, I drizzled on the secret dark soul sauce, and a fresh, crunchy wild veg salad was ready. I opened the stove door and used a stick to hook out the cooked meat tray. The slices were sizzling and oozing fat. The smell could waft a kilometre away. Carefully, I fished the foil parcels out of the coals, one by one, added a few dry logs, shut the door again to keep the cabin warm. I cut open the charred foil with my hunting knife. Inside were soft, pillowy roasted potatoes, a sprinkle of secret seasoning, and the look was killer. Then, decadently tearing off big chunks of butter, I spread them onto each steaming potato, watching the butter slowly melt and sink in, unbearably tempting. I cut into the roasted sausage beside me, leaned against the wall, and started leisurely enjoying this hearty meal. Life's getting pampered than me. Big chunks of veggie salad to cut the grease, paired with sweet, fragrant bread, and listening to the crackle of the firewood next to you, you feel spiritually upgraded. You finish your meal in a flash, tidy the plate, then from the kettle, pour a hot water from the kettle, stir it with a little wooden stick, and slowly savor the hot drink. Stuffed and satisfied, drowsiness creeps in. Move your backpack aside, spread out a very stylish checkered blanket, take off your hat, ready for bed. Lying in a warm as spring, simple wooden cabin, close your eyes and drift into dreamland, leaving a small ember quietly glowing in the dark. If you're still awake, my good bros, don't forget to give Xiao Bo a follow, drop a like, and we'll see you there. Don't miss it.